So let's start today's class. I'm going to introduce you to 8255 programmable peripheral interface today, right? So what it does is, like we learned last time, whenever we want to interface any IO devices, we require latches and tri-state buffer, and then you have to do the address decoding, and accordingly, and then select one of the IO no, devices to 8086, using these latches and tri-state buffer. So all these functions together will be done by 8255. So each 8255 onto each 8255 device we can connect 3 IO devices. Okay, it could be all the 3 could be output devices, or all the 3 could be input devices, or it could be a combination of input and output devices, as it's shown out here. One keyboard is connected, one printer, and one LED display. So these kind of input output devices can be connected to 8255. So 3 sets, and then it can be further interfaced with 8086. Okay, so this is again developed by Intel. So 8255 is it provides 3 8-bit input output ports, okay, in one package, in one chip. Okay, there are other peripheral devices also provided by Intel, like 8253, 8254. They are programmable interval timer, 8259 programmable interrupt controller, and 8237 direct memory access controller. So these we will take it up in the subsequent classes. Today we will focus on 8255. Right, so this is how the pin diagram of 8255 looks like. So there is like, if you see pin number 35 to 27, these are the data lines. Okay, these data lines are going to be connected to the 8086 data lines. Okay, so that the data can be transferred in and out of the 8255, and then subsequently to the ports. Okay, so there are 3 ports which can be connected. So if you see port A, 1 to 4, and then again 40 to 37. So you have an port A 0 to port A 7. So these are the 8 pins into which and one 8 pin port can be connected. Similarly, you have port B out here, P0 to let me just increase the size of the mouse. Okay, so a port B can be connected here in these ports, and then you have port C, right? Port C is divided into 2. Okay, the first lower bits are known as lower port C, and the P4 to P7 are known as the pin number P4 to P7 are known as the upper excuse me, upper port C. Okay, so we'll see why it is divided into 2. So this is the pin configuration. Also, yeah, so and then you have one VCC, which is the power supply pin out here, and then you have an ground pin also available here, where to power this 8255. Okay, then you have some known as A0 and A1. These are the 2 pins which will select which port is going to be connected to the D0 to D7 pin. So you have an end 2 bits, okay, A0 and A1, and a 2-bit pin. So if it is 0 0, okay, this port A will be connected to these lines from 8086. If it is 0 1, port B will be connected to these lines, to the data lines, and if it is 1 0, port C will be connected, and if it is 1 1, then the internal register of 8255 will be connected, and into that internal register we are going to program this 8255. Okay, what is the need of programming 8255 is these ports can work in different modes, which I'll going to explain you in the next slide. So using those bits we can how to program this 8255 for working in different ports, that is by putting in one 8-bit data into an internal register, so that will accordingly decide what mode of operation this 8255 would work in. Okay, so then you have an read bar signal and a write bar signal. Okay, so as to tell whether the data is to be returned into the port A or it is to be read from the ports. Okay, it is common to all the three ports, so read bar and write bar signals. And also you have an chip select line which is necessary because you can connect multiple 8255s, okay, to 8086. So if you have to select this particular chip, then you have to select this, you have to give this chip 0 signal or a ground signal to the pin number 6, which is chip select bar signal. Okay, so this is the various pin diagram. Okay, now if you see this is what
So could you go back to the previous slide, sir?
yeah, tell me.
What exactly is port A, port B, then upper port C, and lower port C?
These are the pins onto which an input output device will be connected, which will have 8 pins. Yeah. Okay. Is Ruben your doubt clear?
So in the previous slide,
Yeah.
so so when port A is activated and I connect the 8255 to a peripheral device, does all the ports get connected to the same device?
No, you can have 3 different devices. Okay. Each input port will have 8 bit of data lines, right? So if
Okay, okay.
device 1 will get connected to port A, device 2 will get connected to port B, and device 3 will get connected to port no, C, right? Each of the port will have 8 data lines. Okay.
Yes, sir, got it.
Okay, so one of those ports will be selected through this line A0 and A1. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can select which port through this combination of A0 and A1, and by using 1 we can initially program. Now port A also can work in different modes. Okay, port B also can work in different modes, and which mode it would operate, that prior to connecting soon after connecting 8255 we will program 8255 by using this control register. Okay, it will be clear in the next slide. Okay, so this is how this is the internal block diagram of an 8255. Now if you see, 2 lines are used to select A0 and A1, right? So now you will have balance address lines 2 to the power of 16, right? Total 16 lines can be used as input output and commands to select different input output ports, right? So if you but 2 lines will be used by 8255 to internally program, okay, to select one of the ports. So 2 to the power of 14, which is 16k 8255s, number of 8255s can be connected to 8086, and each of the 8255 you can connect 3 ports. Is this figures clear how the 16k has come? Right, total number of 8255s which can be connected to 8086 is 16k, right? Because there are total address lines are available is 16, right? So 2 to the power of 16, but then 2 lines you will have to separately give it to this 8255 for programming for selecting one of the ports. So the total number of 8255s is 16k. Okay, it's only 2 to the power of 15, and on each of the 8255s you can connect 3 ports. Okay, now in mode 0, okay, in mode 0 each of these ports will work independently as an 8-bit port. Okay, in mode 0, group A, you will have it's group A port will work as an 8-bit port, group B will work as an 8-bit port, and group C, this together it is divided into two halves, but together it will work as an 8-bit port. Okay. And now there is something known as mode 1. Okay, so you can either configure group A as mode 1 or group B as mode 1, or you can configure both group A and group B as mode 1. So what happens in mode 1 is, okay, if group A is configured as mode 1, then the 4 pins of port C, that is known as the upper pins from PC4 to PC7, that will also be used by group A, and then this will become as an 12-bit port. Okay, this port also will go here, and this will now become an 12-bit port, out of which 8 will be the data lines, and the 4 extra pins which has been taken from port C, that will be used for handshaking signals between the input output device and the 8255. Okay, so what does handshaking signal means? It will just give an interrupt signal would come from the input output port. This will give an acknowledgement, and we will see those 4 signals and subsequently. But for the time being, understand that in mode 1, the 4 pins of group C, upper port C, will be combined with group A. If group A is configured for mode 1 of operation. Similarly, if port B is configured for mode 1 operation, then the lower part will also be configured along with port B. Then you will have a 12-bit port B out here, and these 4 lines will be used for handshaking signals. So is the operation of mode 0 and mode 1 clear to all of you?
So could you explain it one more time?
Yeah, okay. See, this 8255 can be configured for various modes of operation. Okay, if it is configured for mode 0 operation, then port A, port B and port C, they will all work as independent 8-bit ports. Okay, normal ports. Okay, group A will be a 8-bit port, group will be 8-bit port, and group C will be another 8-bit port. Okay, so one of the ports will be selected from this A0 and A1 lines. Okay, it will work like that. Okay, now if it is configured for mode 1 operation, right, and now we can initially configure, we can initially tell 8255 what mode of operation it is supposed to work. Okay, so you can say, okay, group A will work in mode 1 operation. You can configure it like this. Okay, or you can configure group B also for mode 1 operation, right, or you can configure both of them also for for mode 1 operation. Okay, when I configure it for mode 1 operation, right, suppose I am configuring group A for mode 1 of operation, then port A will be of 12 pins. Okay, the upper port of C also, that is the first the most significant 4 bits of port C also, it will be used for port A. So this port A essentially will have 12 pins, and out of these 12 pins, the 8 pins, the initial 8 pins, which is the original group A pins, will be used for data transfer, and the rest of the 4 pins will be used for handshaking signals. Okay, that between 8255 and the input output port. So these handshaking signals are like interrupt signals, interrupt acknowledgement signals, and things like that, which we will discuss in detail later. Similarly, if I configure group port B for mode 1 operation, then this lower half of the port C also will be clubbed along with port B. So this port B will become a 12-bit port, and these 4 additional pins will be used for is this mode 0 and mode 1 operation clear to all of you?
So mode 0 was clear. Mode 1 only little confusion.
Okay, so when we configure it for mode 1, Okay, instead of 8 pin port, it will now act as an 12 pin port. Okay, so there will be 12 lines between 8255 and the input output port, out of which 8 pins will be used for data transfer, and the 4 pins will be used for handshaking signal, that is to send an interrupt signal and to receive an interrupt acknowledgement, and other handshaking signals which we will see, ready signal and things like that. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, in mode 1, group B, so this you can configure both group A and group B as mode 1. So in that case, this C will be split. C is as split into two groups. The one group will get associated with group A, the other group will get associated with group B. Okay, and there is something known as mode 2. In the mode 2, only group A can be configured as mode 2. So once you configure group A as mode 2, all the 8 bits of group C will get associated with group A for bidirectional handshaking. Okay, so all these 8 pins will move. So this port A will essentially will have a total of 16 pins, 8 pins for data transfer and other 8 pins for handshaking. So it is known as bidirectional handshaking. Okay, so we'll see that the handshaking signals we would see in the next class. Okay, right now we just have to understand there are 3 modes of operation. Okay, now if you see, this is from 8086. Okay, the data lines will be connected to 8255, and then you will have input output write, input output read signal. Okay, these are the decoded signals. Okay, we know how to decode these signals, right? You have memory stroke input output signals and read bar signal and write bar signals. So from there, from those 3 signals, we decode these signals, and this is given here. Okay, we are telling 8255 it's a read operation or a write operation. And if you see here, from 8086, A0, A1 and A2 address pins are connected to A0 and A1 here. It's not A0 and A1 of 8086. Okay, it is A1 and A2. Okay, and A0 is used to select this 8255. Okay, this is essentially done like for like we have the memory banking, right? So similarly, you could have 2 ports which are connected. So if you want to take an 16 bit data also from 2 ports together, it is possible. That is why A0 is used for chip select. Okay, A0 is not put here. A1 and A2 is given out here. So chip A0 will be used for as a chip select for 8255, like it has been done for the memory banking in the same manner. Okay, so you have A1 and A2 coming to these chips. Now if I give an A1 and A2, if I give it as an 00, right? If I give it as 00, then port A will be connected. Okay, this is the port A. So if you see, if I have to give some data into this port A, so this is how I will be doing it. Move DX 0 FFF 0. Okay, this is the FFF could be anything, and this for particular that depends on how you are configured the various address lines. Okay, so this is just an example. So it will end with a 0. So and then you you do out an AL DX, right? Then port A will be connected to 8086, right? If you have to connect a port B, now you will have to give FFF2. Okay, 2, because it is like you are taking an you are connecting from A1 and A2. So here, if for 01, right, the port B will be connected. So you will have to give in the address line 2, because these lines are A1 and A2. Similarly, for connecting port 3, you will have to give an address which is ending with 4. Right, so 0, 2 and 4 will connect in a port A, port B and port C. Is this aspect clear to all of you? Why is it 0, 2 and 4?
Sir, how do we decide which port number is the 8255?
Yeah, so there'll be you'll have to you will assign some address lines to that, right? So this 8255, okay, we will have these address lines from A0 to A16. Okay, you will have an chip select logic which will select this. So in this case, for example, you have taken the base as 4 FFF, right? So FFF 0. So you will have to do a decoder circuit. So we have decided, okay, we will have this A255 at this address, okay, FFF0, right? So you will have accordingly make a chip select logic which will select this chip. Suppose I want to connect this 8255 at 00000, right? Then all this will be put 000 out here, and then you will accordingly select this chip. So when it is 000, this chip has to get selected. So that we have to decide, right? What will be the, at what address location we want to plug in this 8255. Is it okay?
So from A0 to A15, we can decide which port number we wish to connect the A255 to.
Yeah, correct. From
So from that, we can generate 2 to the 16 different ports we can connect at the same time.
in fact, we can connect only 2 to the power of 14 because 2 lines will be used to select ports within these address lines. Okay, for each, okay, these two A0, A1 and A2 will be used to select either port A, port B, port C. Right, so you can leave aside these two lines, and with the rest of the pins you will have 2 to the power of 14. So you can 2 to the power of 14 8255 you can use. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. And will this A1 and A2 from 8086 decide which port A or B or C in all the ports, or only in all the 8255?
Yeah, it will decide for along with the chip select. So whichever chip gets selected, in that particular chip, A1 and A2 will further decide which port. Right?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. So okay. Now we also have, right, 6, okay, ending with 6. Okay, that is if you give 1 1, okay, A1 and A2 as 1, okay, that will that is the address would be something like this, 0FF6. Okay, because it is 1 1 here, like 4 and 2, 4 plus 2 6. Okay, so this 6, in that when you give this address, so the data line will be diverted. Instead of port A, port B, port C, it will be diverted into the internal register of 8255. Okay, and into that internal register of 8255 I can put some data. So in this example I have just shown some figure 80. I can put 80, or I can put 82, I can put 84 and all. So that figure what I'm going to put, 80, 82, 84, will decide the mode of operation of this 8255, whether it is going to work in mode 0 or it is going to work in mode 1, mode 2. That will be decided by this 8-bit data which we are going to feed into the internal register of 8255. So before we start using these ports, the first and foremost thing which we need to do is program 8255. Okay, because we have to first tell 8255 what mode of operation it has to work. So how do we tell 8255 what is the mode of operation? By putting some data into this port, into the internal register. Okay, and what will be the internal register address? It will end with 6. Okay, it has to end with 6. Okay, because 00 ending with 0 indicates port A, ending with 2 will indicate the address ending with 2 is port B, and ending with 4 is port C, and ending with 6 is the internal register. Okay, where did this 0246 come from? Because we are using A1 and A2 lines from 8086, and we are using A0 for chip select. Since we are using A1 and A2, so you will obviously have for 8255 it is 0001 and 10 and 11, but for 8086 it will be 0, 2, 4 and 6. Okay, so this is how it is going to work, right? So this is how we are going to program it. Okay, So now how to program it? The 8-bit data. Okay, so this is going to be the 8-bit data which is going to be put into the internal register of 8255. Okay, the first bit, okay, if it is 1, it means it is going to be an input output in a mode. Okay, like normal operation, port A, port B, port C, it's going to work. Okay, if this is going to be put as 0, then in that case port C only, this is generally used if you give 0, then port C will be worked in BSR mode. That means we can configure the output of individual pins of port C. That means in port C, instead of connecting an input output port with an 8-bit data line, you can connect a single bit input output ports to port C. Okay, so so we are going to that we'll see subsequently. Right now we will focus on the 8-bit ports. That is, when we give this particular pin as 1, it will work as input output mode. Okay, and these two pins, D5 and D6, if you are going to give 0 0, then port A is going to work in, this is all for group A. If you see, these 4 are for group A. If it is 0 0, then port A is going to work as mode 0, and if it is 0 1, then this is going to work as an mode 1. If it is 1 0, then port A is going to work as mode 2. Okay, so obviously when it is working in mode 1, if you are configuring it as for mode 1, 4 lines of port C will be clubbed and it will be used for a handshaking. So that automatically it will do. You don't have to configure port C separately. If you configure the mode group port A as mode 2, all the 8 lines of port C will be taken, okay, for handshaking signals. Okay, and now this this bit corresponds to if it is 1, it is corresponding to that port A is going to be input. If it is 0, port A is going to be the output. Okay, and then this pin, again it is input. 1 is equal to input, 0 is equal to output for upper port C. Okay, for the 4 pins of port C. Again, if you go here, okay, this is mode selection for port B. Okay, see, port B can be configured either for mode 0 or mode 1. So there is only 1 bit required. So this is a D2 bit, in which if you give it as 1, the port B will be configured as mode 1. If it is 0, it will be configured as mode 0. And if you see, this D1 bit is for a port B. Port B 1 indicates port B is going to be an input, 0 indicates it is going to be an output. Okay, and this is for the lower part of the port C, whether you want to configure it as input or output. So this is how this 8-bit data which we are going to feed into the register will look like. So depending on how we want to configure our 8255, this data will be decided, and this will be fed into 8255 initially itself. Okay, that is known as the initializing 8255 or programming 8255. Okay, so I will take on an example, so it will be more clear.
Sir, in D5 and D6, what will happen if I give 1 1?
No, it is not permitted. Okay, this is not permitted.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that is not permitted. So this is the same thing. It's shown in a more colorful manner. That's all. Okay, we will see an example, so it will be clear. Now, if you want to configure 8255 ports, okay, like in mode 0, okay, this is the condition. We want to configure 8255 in mode 0. Mode 0, it's written here, but it means both port A and port B as mode 0. Okay, you can even configure mode one of the ports as mode 1 and the other port B as mode 0. Not necessarily both have to be of the same mode. Okay, you can configure it differently also. So in this example, we are just configuring both as mode 0. Port B and upper port C as inputs, and port A and lower as outputs. Okay, so how to configure? So we are going to D7, right? If it's an input output mode, so that will be 1 out here. D5 and D6, it is going to be 0 0 because it is mode 0 operation. Port A, we want it as output, so we put 0 here. Upper port C also, upper port C as an input. We want it as input. That's why we want to put it as 1 out here. Okay, and then mode selection for port B, that is 0, mode 0 operation. D1, since we want D1 as an input, we are going to put it as 1 here. Okay, and this also we want as an output, so we are putting it as 0 here. So this is equivalent to 8A. So when we initially program 8255, we are going to see, so this is coming to 8A, right? So initially when we program, like we are going to programming, so we will write an DX, okay, 0FF6, and then move 8A. Okay, move into AL register. So in and out, we know that anything can be, everything has to be through the accumulator only. So initially here in this example 80, for that example which we just saw, it will be 8A. So we will move 8A into the AL register, and then we will write an out DX AL. So in DX, obviously since it's ending with 6, so this AL data 8A will go into the internal register of 8255, and accordingly it will get programmed for the required mode of operation. Right? Is this clear to all of you now? Okay. This is just to summarize what we have learnt. Okay, so the first bit will decide whether it is an input output mode, or it is going to work as an BSR mode. Okay, we will see this BSR mode in detail. In the BSR mode, individual pins of the C port will be considered as an individual port. Okay, so you can just send 1 bit information also, because if you are driving an LED, each LED as a separate, or you are taking input from a switch, okay, it requires only a single bit. Okay, so in that case we can use this. Okay, here we are using it as an 8-bit and a port. Okay, so this is going to be, when we are putting 1 in D7, it is going to get configured as an 8-bit port. So you have 3 modes of operation. In mode 0, each of these 3 ports are going to work as an 8-bit individual ports. Okay, port A. So you can select one of the ports, okay, by using the address bits, 0, A0 and A1 from the 8255 side, and it is A2 and A1 from the 8086 side. Okay, so A1 and A2 will select which one of the 3 ports. Okay, so all the 3 ports will work as an 8-bit port individually. Then you have a mode 1 operation. If you configure it for mode 1 operation, okay, you can not necessarily both the ports have to be, port A and port B have to be mode 1. You can have either A to be configured as mode 1, or B, or both. Okay, so in this case, the port C will be used as handshaking. The upper port will be used by port A, and the lower portion of the C port will be used by B as handshaking signals. And during handshaking, when it is configured for mode 1 operation, the ports will have a total of 12 pins. 8 pins, the original 8 pins will be used for data transfer, and the additional 4 pins which they get from the port C, that will be used for handshaking. Okay, and then you have a mode 2 operation. Okay, in the mode 2 operation, it is known as a bidirectional, and only port A can be configured in mode 2 operation. So if A is configured as mode 2 operation, in that case all the 8 lines of C will be combined with port A. So now port A will become a 16-bit port. 8 lines will be used for data transfer, and rest of the 8 lines will be used for handshaking. Right, C becomes an handshaking. And mode B, it's wrongly written here 01. Mode B can be, because now you have configured A as mode 2, right? So if it is configured for mode 2, all the 8 lines of C will be used for mode 2 operation. Then you don't have an option but to configure mode B only for mode 0. You can't have mode 1 because the 4 lines have already been used by mode A. So B can be configured only for mode 0. Right, so this configuration, initially we will have to program 8255 by writing an 8-bit data into the control register of 8255. right? So and then subsequently, once you have programmed it, and then you can individually send in and out signals to one of the three ports, port A, port B, port C. Okay, that is through in and out commands. Okay, so even programming of this 8255 register, that also will be done through through out command only, right? Like we saw here, through out only. The only thing is the address will be the register. Okay, that will be ending with an 6 out here. So this is the C6. Okay, is it clear to all of you? Okay, if it is clear, we'll call it off today. We'll and tomorrow in the next class we'll further take on some more aspects of 8255. Okay, thanks a lot.